So let's start with a new session today, that is on HR audit. As we have done up with HR important functions, why human resource management is required, we have winded up with recruitment, selection, we have done other aspects also, training, development, which are very important, and I expect that you all must have be very clear about all those topics which we have studied in our previous session. So for today, I have chosen the topic, that is HR audit. Audit for anything or any function is important, because until unless you audit, you go for an auditing process, you will be not able to knowing that whether whatever you are doing, whatever functions are being performed, are they up to mark, appropriate or not. So to check the validity, to check that whether they are being done appropriately as per the requirement, what we have to do is we have to go for audit. Audits are being done in various departments at various levels. We depute various persons, senior members, or we can say persons from top level, or we hire, sometimes we hire from or outsource from outside also. External parties can also be hired or outsourced for auditing, because auditing is very important. If I talk about the performance judgment, or I talk about performance evaluation, then in between a financial year or after completion of a financial year, audits are being done for accounts also, finances also, because they tell us about the current position and what we have done in the complete last year. So in the same manner, HR audit is also being done to know about the current position of the human resource, what is going on in the organization, because organization must be keep updated and upgraded related its HR. If HR position is not clear, or your employee position or human resource position is not clear, then it means that the organization can be into some trouble. The organization can face problems in the coming future. So to eliminate or avoid all these things, what we have to do is we have to go for HR audit. So coming to the main point, main topic for today's session, HR audit, let's start with the definition, or we can say concept of HR audit. Now, what is HR audit? The human resources audit is a process of examining policies, procedures, documentation, systems, and practices with respect to an organization's HR functions. So, as per the definition, it means that human resource audit means a process in which what we are doing, we are examining, we are evaluating, or we are analyzing the policies, procedures, documentation, systems and practices with related to an organization's HR function, that how the HR is functioning, whether the HR is functioning up to mark, appropriately or not. Because until unless you check the functional system of any department, or we can say any branch, or we can say any office, you will be not able to knowing that whether it is working properly, functioning properly or not. The purpose, coming to the purpose of HR audit, the purpose of the audit is to reveal the strengths and weakness in the organization's human resource system and any issue needing resolution. Now, the purpose of the audit is not to find out the loopholes, or we can say not to find out the problems existing, but the purpose is to reveal or find out the strengths and weaknesses in the organization's human resources system. What are the strengths? Because strengths should be used and weaknesses should be eliminated. Strengths should be studied so that we can use them for competency. We can make them our USPs and weaknesses. We study weaknesses so that we can remove them, eliminate them, and we can make the system a strong proof, well proof system. Because if your system will not be having weaknesses, then your organization will be a strong organization. And also, any issues needing resolution. Is there any kind of conflict? Is there any kind of problem existing which need to be resolved? So this is the basic purpose of HR audit. What we are doing, we are finding out our strengths and weaknesses, and we are chalking out for those issues which need to be resolved. The audit work best when the focus is on analyzing and improving the HR functions in the organization. Now, when your audit will be working up to its maximum or optimum, when the whole focus is on analyzing and improving the HR functions in the organization. Because if you are having only purpose of finding the loopholes, or if you are running after only to find the disadvantages, or you want to find out any kind of problem with the organization or with the HR, then your aim or objective of HR audit will not be fulfilled. So your focus or your attention should be only on analyzing and improving the HR functions in the organization. Moving to the next. Now, these are the purposes of HR audit, or we can say these are the objectives of HR audit. Why? Because every audit or every small function in an organization involves cost and time. An organization can only invest in the form of cost and time only when he will be drawing some benefits out of it. And as I have told earlier also, whenever you are going for any particular function, when you are going for any particular performance and process, until unless you are having your objectives chalked down, until unless you are having your purposes written down, till then you will be not getting the success. So, purpose of HR audit: ensuring legal compliance, legal formalities. We have discussed earlier also that there are n number of legal formalities, various acts are there which have to be followed by an organization, because if an organization is not following the legal compliances, then it can be a situation of problem for the organization. Because employees acts are there, factories acts is there, maternity benefit act is there, other compensation act is there. So we have to follow all the legal compliance which are being ensured by human resource in an organization. Second purpose: keeping HR practices aligned with employer needs strategy. The second purpose of HR audit is to make sure that our HR practices are matching with the needs and strategy of the employer. Because if the needs, objective and strategy of the employer and HR practices are not aligned, they are not matching, they are not moving in the same direction, then it is very tough, or even we can say it is impossible to achieve our organizational goals, to accomplish our organizational goals. Point 3 says identifying opportunities for improvement. Yes, there is always a chance, there is always an opportunity for improvement, growth and development. Only the requirement is to identify it. So the third purpose of HR audit is identifying opportunities for improvement. Is there any further opportunity? Is there any further chance of improvement? And if yes, then such opportunity should be grasped. It should be utilized. Because if you are leaving the opportunities unused, or you are leaving the opportunities without making them your strength, then it means that you are leaving a chance for growth and development of the organization. Fourth point says improving operational efficiency and productivity. Yes, the next important purpose of HR audit is to improve operational efficiency and productivity. Operational efficiency means to bring efficiency in your functions, to bring efficiency in your performance, because if your performance or your functions are not being performed efficiently, then it will be directly affecting or impacting your other monetary gains, your financial performances, the performance of your organization with relation to productivity. So the fourth purpose is improving operational efficiency and productivity, because if an organization is doing very well, he is efficiently utilizing his resources, then automatically but obvious the productivity will increase. So this is the next main purpose of HR audit. Fifth point says identify root problem areas and cost reduction opportunities. Now here we are talking about minimization of cost. Here we are talking about the main areas which are creating trouble or problem for the organization. Because if these two things are studied, root problem areas and cost reduction opportunities, then an organization will be at a very, very safe, safer side. Because unless you are having some basic problem lying, or you are having some basic root cause of problems and you are not working on them, then you cannot think of a good organization. And minimization of cost, yes, very important aspect, because minimization of cost leads to maximization of profits, or we can also say that minimization of wastage leads to maximization of profits. So it has to be studied under HR audit only, that whether we are wasting resources, and that is leading to increase in our cost. Improves employee morale. Yes. Next important purpose of HR audit is to improve the morale or motivation of employee, because an employee with high morale or an employee with high motivation is really an asset for the organization. If employees are not working with full motivation and full energy, encouragement, confidence, then it means that they are having some or other kind of dissatisfaction or grievance or complaint with regard to organization. So this should also be studied. Next point says implementing and staying current with world-class practices. World-class practices means HR audit is also done with an objective to find out what is going on with the outside the world organization, or we can say in the world, and that should be implemented, and an organization should stay tuned with world-class practices. Because if you are not adapting, or if you are not well versed with the current practices which are going on globally, then it will be, or universally, then it will be very difficult for you to become a brand name, earn goodwill, or to give something very different, something unique to your customers. So it is very important to implement and stay connected with the world-class practices going on outside the organization. And the last point says increasing commitment to continuous improvement. Very important. As we talk about sustainable development, in the same manner we must be committed to continuous improvement. An organization or its HR department must be committed to continuous improvement. This is also one of the very, very main important objective or purpose of HR audit, because when an audit is being done, then only you come to know about that what is the current position of your organization. Because if you are not having such an type of audit, or you are not having maintaining any such practice, then it will be very tough for you to come up with new practices, to come up with global things. So for this, what you have to do is you have to keep trying